Hey guys, just a quick video today reminding you of a really good double bubble bonus we're getting this week. I know the focus for everyone is probably going to be on the nightclub bonuses, as it should be, but there's another sleeper bonus you definitely want to throw into the mix, especially if you're a bottom dollar business owner. And that, my friends, is the Martin Madrazo hits. So last summer, Rockstar came out with a bottom dollar bounties bust, or rather business, and we were all treated to one of the worst DLC updates the company has ever released. And if you're like me, you purchased all the insanely high-priced updates only to find out later that the payout in this business is, well, crap. So any opportunity I get to recoup some of the money I lost for this business, I tend to jump at. And this week, well, it's time to jump. Okay, so the Madrazo hits are a daily activity in GTA Online that were added, as I mentioned, last summer as part of the continuation of the bottom dollar update. We actually received a number of other little updates when this business dropped, including the Vincent jobs. I don't know, maybe Rockstar was so ashamed of dropping such a crapper of a DLC, they added in these other activities to make up for it. Who knows? So the key here is that you need to own the bail office in order to play these hits. And no, I'm not suggesting at all that you purchase the bail office in order to kick these off. It's not worth it. In fact, nothing is worth the money needed to purchase this office. But like I said, if you're like me and are stuck with the office, this is a great activity to perform this week for the added money. And speaking of money, on a normal non-bonus week, expect $20,000 for completing the hit and an additional $10,000 for completing the hit with the suggested weapon, which I would always recommend. I'll get to the details here shortly, but all this adds up to roughly $30,000 a day for what amounts to roughly 1 or 2 minutes of work. Not bad. In fact, double money or not, I usually mix in these hits into my normal daily grind because they're so simple and quick. Alright, to kick these off, you can be in any type of session you want, and you do not need to be in an organization or a motorcycle club. The daily target will always spawn in any one of 15 locations across the map, and it'll be a target icon with a $sign in the middle. Okay, so traveling to the location, I would recommend using, as always, the Mark II. This isn't a necessity though, you can certainly use whatever vehicle you like. However, for me, the Mark II is the easiest and it's quick. It gets you really close to the target and it provides you with a very quick getaway. Just beware though that after you complete the hit, you'll get a wanted level from the police. So there are some particular locations where getting away quick is needed, and the Mark II excels at this. For instance, if you wind up getting the hit at LSIA, as you may or may not know, there's always going to be police patrolling this area. So you're not going to have the luxury of having the typical 10 to 15 seconds of peace before the cops arrive. They'll already be there and be pouncing on you as soon as you eliminate the target. So again, just beware of your surroundings and always have a quick getaway mapped out before you make the hit. Also of note, if you're in a bind for a getaway vehicle, for whatever reason, there'll always be a gang-affiliated vehicle parked nearby so you can steal it and drive away if you need to. So once you arrive and kick off the mission, you'll get a notice in the upper left of your screen telling you what Madrazo's weapon of choice will be. Don't worry though, because the weapon will always be chosen from the player's owned arsenal. However, also be aware that the weapon may include those that are owned but hidden through the custom weapon loadout feature. And the weapon will always be a category of weapon, not a specific type of weapon. For instance, it may say shotgun, but you can use whatever type you want. Assault, combat, sweeper shotgun, etc. Okay, so once you've equipped the weapon of choice, Madrazo will have sent you a photograph of the target. And after you've done enough of these, you can always pick out who the unfortunate individual will be. There's always going to be 3 key people: the target, and then 2 fellow gang members. Depending on the situation, I'll usually take out the target first, and then the 2 associates. The reason for this is that if you get, for instance, the sniper rifle, it's usually quicker to snipe the target and then rush in with something like the assault shotgun to clean up the other 2. And that's basically it. After you've eliminated the target, you'll need to rush in and take a photograph of the body and then send it to Madrazo. You need to be somewhat quick when you're doing this because as soon as gunshots are fired, the police are alerted and you get the wanted level. But don't despair. If you find yourself in a vehicle or on foot, this is one of those unique instances where you can simply call Lester to remove, or if you're flying away, it only takes about 10 or 15 seconds for it to clear anyway. And that's it. With it being double bubble this week, you can expect a rather generous 60 grand for performing these very quick, very easy, and very profitable missions. Alright, so that's my friend. Thank you for watching. As always, if you like this video and want to help out, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, and let me know what you think. Is anybody else performing these Madrazo hits this week? If so, do you have any other additional tips and tricks you'd like to share? If so, drop a comment below and let everyone know. Until next time, be happy, be well, be safe, be my TV. The one Maestro.